So the Lucknow Super Giants have finally gotten their IPL 2024 campaign off after losing their first game against the Rajasthan Royals. They have bounced back to win by 21 runs against the Punjab Kings.
I just have one question. Did the Lucknow Super Giants win this? Or did Punjab Kings lose this?
Yes.
102 after 11 overs.
Yeah.
Chasing 200, 10 wickets in hand. Listen, you need to be winning that. I'm sorry.
You need to be winning it, but Lucknow Super Giants unearthed a very special talent who changed the entire course of the game.
I think
today.
two major talking points. One, of course, Mayank Yadav.
Yeah.
Man alive, was it nice to see him. We'll talk about him and then get to the second point for me, the major talking point, which I think really impacted the Punjab Kings. If you're looking at it from their perspective, Liam Livingston's injury.
Yes.
But first, Mayank Yadav.
Mayank Yadav. So when he was handed a debut, today there were two people who were handed a IPL debut by the Lucknow Super
Manimadan
Giants.
Siddharth. And
From the TNPL and Mayank Yadav. And there was a lot of talk about Mayank Yadav in the domestic circuit in the 14 games that he's played. One first class game, he played 7 list A games and 6 T20.
I think he's got about 14 odd wickets in the 7 list A games that he's played. And just about half the wickets for the games that you mentioned.
Yeah.
And 21 years old, by the way.
21 years old from New Delhi.
But if there is one headline or one big takeaway from this match or for whatever this match will be best remembered for, it won't be remembered for the choke. I think, see, let's be honest, whenever as Indians we see somebody bowl in excess of 150 clicks, you have the attention, you have the eyeballs, you have the interest of the entire nation.
And not just the entire nation, by the way. Morne Mokil was so impressed with how Mayank Yadav was going in this match that he gave him like a special pat on the back during the
Wasn't it good to see Mayank bowl the way that he did? Imagine somebody getting picked in the 2022 edition of the IPL, missing out because of a torn hamstring, I believe. Doesn't get a game the next year as well. And when he does get the opportunity, he makes absolute headlines out of it. 155.8 clicks.
By the way, that's two promising young bowlers who this year have made a good impact in the IPL starting or coming from Delhi. Mayank Yadav and Harshit Rana.
Harshit Rana, yeah.
Delhi have seemingly, in spite of their own efforts, unearthed two good gems in this case.
I mean, if you look at it, how many times did he breach the 150 kmph barrier? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
That's 9 balls out of the 24 he bowled. That means over a third of his deliveries were breaching the 150 click mark. And even the ones that weren't were like 148, 147. So
he regularly went past 90 miles per hour in more than half of the deliveries.
That's the man who faced the fastest delivery of IPL 2024, Shikhar Dhawan.
Shikhar Dhawan.
11.1. That was the ball in which Shikhar Dhawan faced a 156 kmph thunderbolt from Mayank Yadav. And I think it is 1 kmph slower than Umran Malik's delivery.
157.
157, which he had done maybe 2 years back.
Yeah, it was 2022.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just about did enough to be retained.
Yes, and because of that, Mayank Yadav, the spell that he bowled, sure, he got some edges went, but that was because of the pace in which he bowled. It raced across this billiards table like outfit.
I mean, listen, you have to be seriously accurate and searing with pace if you can make Johnny Bairstow, someone who's very adept at playing pace, look like a bang average batter again.
Yeah, but I think for me, the delivery that broke Punjab Kings' resistance was the one to Jitesh. Short, rising, quick delivery, about close to 150 clicks, and it rose up on Jitesh. He tried to go for the lofted shot, but then he top-edged it, and that is where you felt, yes, the momentum had dramatically slid down for the Punjab Kings.
Absolutely.
The demons were already sown when Shikhar Dhawan had to somehow face that 156 kmph thunderbolt, but the delivery to Jitesh sealed their fate, and he then settled into rhythm, and 6.8 for a guy who's bowling 156 and 150 clicks consistently. It means
On
that
debut.
On debut. Imagine that, on debut. That means his accuracy was spot on. IPL debut nerves, what is that? There is nothing in that sense. Today, if there is a man of the match deserving candidate, sure, there might be Nicholas Puran, Quinton de Kock, there might be Krunal Pandya, but I think my man of the match is Mayank Yadav for the way how he has bowled in a chase of 200. knowing the broader circumstances, 102 for no loss. 11 overs were up and they were well within that. We thought at the halfway mark, yes, Punjab can win this. But no.
Punjab, at the
They were
halfway
flying.
it looked like, yes, they were absolutely flying and they would get to the total canter perhaps.
No, but
But
that
wasn't to
didn't
be the
happen.
case.
It felt like a repeat of yesterday's game, RCB KKR, where, of course, KKR did lose a couple of wickets early, but then there was such an assault already. And then at that point, you never doubted. It was just a case of how many balls. I thought today would be the same because I'm like, from here on out, surely you need to be just cutting loose and looking to dispatch everything. And then Shikhar Dhawan goes and reminds the world why it is that the team looked beyond him in not just T20 cricket, but I will argue white ball cricket.
Yeah.
That inability to, and this will sound strangely familiar to people who are watching yesterday's show, that inability to break the shackles in the middle overs.
Yeah, 70 or 50, and we criticized Virat Kohli for carrying the bat of 83 or 59. Today he was chasing 200. Strike rate of 140. I am sorry.
Not as an opener. Not as an opener.
I am very sorry about that because Shikhar Dhawan 16.2 overs. He couldn't get his team over the line. Somewhere down the line, okay, if he had given his other batters the chance to get closer to it. But by the time he left, the run rate had already mounted.
It was
See, at
too late.
one point he was doing well. It's, I think, later on that he slowed.
And that's what happens with Shikhar. That's his problem. Because what is the one record I think which Shikhar Dhawan holds that's kind of like an albatross around his neck? He's hit the most number of boundaries in the history of the IPL. 4s. The problem is that with that is that his 6 hitting ability is not that great. He was always a subtle timer of the ball, not someone who could bludgeon, not someone who's a powerful guy. And he just tends to get stuck up against the spinners, which is very surprising for a Delhi batter. How is it that he's getting stuck against the spinners? But that is the reality of Shikhar Dhawan at this point in time.
Yeah.
He just does not have that ability in the middle overs to keep the strike rate going, to keep the scoreboard ticking in a consistent way. I mean, again, 102 in 11 overs. You need 98 runs in 9 overs. 2 or 3 big overs, no, and the game is Punjab's to lose. In fact, both batsmen, Bairstow at least you can say, fine, he went for an attacking shot and ended up getting out. By the time Shikhar tried to start attacking, he had fended away one too many deliveries.
Yeah, I mean, see, from 11.4 to 16.2, which is about 5.4 overs. 5.4 overs meaning 34 balls.
They only got 40 runs, 39
runs.
runs.
Then this is the approach towards the death overs.
And this brings me to the second talking point. And again, I think exposes one of Punjab Kings' fatal problems when it comes to their team building, their lack of an Indian core.
Yeah.
See, Prabh Simran got a start, fine, got out, but it was a pretty good ball again from Mayank. Good start though he got. He was striking at a 270, and I don't think you'd be having this conversation if Prabh Simran had gotten a quick fire 40. You might have been closer because again, even now they've lost by what? 22 runs, 21 runs. It's not a lot. But again, where's the rest of the Indian core? You were forced to promote Jitesh Sharma up to 4 because you knew Liam Livingston was kind of carrying a knock and you had to save him for later. Sam Curran, Golden Duck. But beyond that, Shashank Singh and Harpreet Brar are your
And
6.
Harshal Patel.
That's your lower
6, 7,
order.
8, yeah,
that is not a lower order.
See, in terms of the Indian core as well, when you talk about Punjab, who is it that comes to your mind? Arshdeep Singh, Harpreet Brar.
Who's more of a bowler than a bat?
Yes, and I'll fail to name a third player. Shikhar Dhawan is there for now. But does he...
Is he a sure shot retention player?
Exactly.
In the year of it's the year before the mega auction, everyone's performances are going to be watched. There's only so many players you can retain. I mean, see, I remember very clearly even in 2022, not every player went into the auction pool even after the 4 retentions because I think there was some option. I'm failing to forget what it was, but teams had retained about 7-8 players, if memory serves me right.
No, they were retained only 4.
No, but then every single
There
one
was a trade-off if you look at it in that
yeah.
sense.
There was a
Trading.
trade-off. There was a trade-off of sorts that was also done. I think, no, you were allowed to keep a few more players, but it reduced your purse.
They reduced the purse cap. I mean, for example, if one player was paid about 20, the other player would have to be paid about 12. It depended upon the purse cap that was agreed
why
upon.
I'm saying
I
it-
remember there was 4 slabs, if memory serves.
Yeah, but
I think 17 CR was the maximum, then 15, 12, 8,
Yeah,
I think it went something
that
like
is fine. But again, my point is that again, I remember very clearly that KKR retained 4 players,
Yeah.
of which I think one overseas player was Russell. But Narayan never entered the auction pool.
No, but then you retained 2 Indians and 2 foreigners, no? Didn't you?
Was it?
KKR, yeah. Narayan and Russell were retained.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You're right.
Overseas, the more you retain, the cap goes down.
Cap goes
in that
down.
sense.
Right. So that's the option. If you're only getting a chance to retain 4 players, boss, you need to be, and as a captain,
Yeah.
you are the most easily expendable because you're thinking mega auction, now's the time, rebuild again.
But with Punjab, it follows a philosophy. Every year they
Rebuild.
destroy the castle
It's
and they
destroy
try
and
to
rebuild.
build something yet again in the club.
And that's the thing, if one injury can afflict you to this point, then it just shows that, whatever team you were building, a lot of people were praising Punjab Kings because they had a decent start, but the fallacy is exposed.
And unfortunately, looking at the way how Livingston was shaping up today while batting, I'm sorry. I think he's going to be.
Spells trouble. If you
spells
saw the
trouble.
way that he was moving around, 2 things. One, the way that he was moving around for the little time that he spent in the middle, and the fact that he came on late.
So, I will
Both
tell
put
you,
together.
when did that incident happen? Towards the death overs, there was a shot that was hit. I think it was by Krunal. Livingston was running after the delivery at extra cover, but then he pulled up. And then you could see that he was walking. So, either it's a hamstring injury, if
Or a
it's
quad, something
or a
like
quad
that.
or something, but if it's that, you are seeing him on the sidelines for a bit longer.
I mean, yeah, then you may as well, if you are, if you are Punjab Kings, you may very well have to start looking at replacement players if he's ruled out.
Yep. But then let's get back to a bit of Mayank Yadav. I mean, the slowest delivery that he bowled was 140 kmph. That is the slowest that he bowled. The fastest was 156, which was in his first ball of the second over that he was
It's
bowling.
been rounded off a 55.8.
Yeah, but it's rounded up.
Yeah, it's rounded off.
I think in Umran also was not 156, I think it was 156.7
Something.
or 8
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken. But then see, Mayank Yadav at the age of 21, debut match, excellent. But now, you know what will be the thing now? All our family members, all the guys,
Don't get overexcited.
they'll say, oh, new star, get him in, raw pace and all that kind of thing.
Fast track.
Fast track.
Please don't fast track him.
Now,
You saw what happened with Umran.
you saw prior to that,
And-
there is an even greater precedent. You
and-
know what happened to Varun Aaron? Varun Aaron also was touching 155, 153 clicks.
See, he's less than 10 list A games.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a lot of domestic experience. Yes, he did play in the semi-final in which Delhi eventually lost. He picked up 2 wickets. I think they lost to Punjab in the semi-final. That only tells you that his T20s and list experience is very limited at the moment. Still very raw. Only 1 game that we've seen. Let's see how he goes. Whatever next 8-10 games that that the franchise.
But see, the skill level
or
is
more,
there,
whatever.
yeah.
But you'll have to wait it out. Don't do the same mistake that you made with Umran. Yes, you can go gaga about him right now. You can do all those searches. We've already told you where he comes from, what he does, everything. But there's got to be a process. One IPL, let's hope it turns out to be a good IPL for him. Wait it out for another IPL. If required, another 2026. You're looking at the next edition of the T20 World Cup, which will happen here in India.
Yeah.
Maybe the conversation can start around that time.
Yeah.
But for that also, there is good 2 years.
You have to have a good sample size. That's the same problem which happened with Umran Malik. You all thought that in 2022, the way how it was, and let us be very sure about this, okay? Look at most of the deliveries that he was bowling. Somewhere around the back of a length, that hard length
Hard
that you're
lengths,
saying,
yes.
okay? He was bowling the hard lengths. In international cricket, the likes of an Australia, the likes of a South Africa, or the likes of an England, I mean, Johnny Bairstow this time was an exception, but they don't have that problem playing the hard lengths.
I think, and the only reason I think Bairstow was struggling is because I don't think he knew anything about Mayank Yadav
Yeah.
and was probably caught off guard.
He was.
Again, international level players of Sena nations are not going to have that much of a problem facing express pace.
Yes.
They don't.
But now see what this has done is, see, it's like a double-edged sword. Sure, everybody will go gaga. Rightfully, you have to go gaga over it because, as I said, the slowest delivery bowled was 140 kmph. The fastest was 156.8. But now this has put him bang in the spotlight of all the cameras, of all the analysts, of all the
It's
social
fine,
media
but if
thing.
you saw, again, different formats altogether. But you mentioned about Umran Malik, who has failed to innovate, let's say, which is why he got dropped last year as well. We've not seen, yes, he played the second game, but I don't think he played the first game for Hyderabad this year. The fact that just raw pace isn't good enough, there are multiple examples. There is Umran Malik, there is Mark Wood, who, albeit in a different format altogether, but also told you just express pace doesn't get you rewards in international cricket. Let's go one step further to our dear neighbors in Pakistan, Haris Rauf. Let's remember what happened with him. Also, what's he been, most found out about? The fact that he doesn't have variations up his sleeve. So just raw pace in international cricket, it's a good factor to have, may not be the X factor anymore. You've got to be. How good is your, even Shaheen Shah Afridi, somebody who would, bowl
touch the 150s,
touch 150, bowl in the late 140s, had to come up with a very good slower one, which he did, let's say in the Asia Cup, where he got those wickets as well, and then in the World Cup as well. Even he had to work over these couple of years in international cricket to come up with a slower one. Swing is his asset, but again, international cricketers will need, if he is to progress Mayank over here, then you need more skills. He will have to add more skills up his repertoire.
There is a cautionary tale behind every pacer. I mean, see, let us make one thing very clear. As a 150, consistent 145, 150 clicks pacer, you have to be prepared for the fact that his body might not be equipped for all three formats.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Let us make that one thing clear here. When it comes to express pace bowling in the modern era, there is a cautionary tale of a certain Sean Tate. Sean Tate, wild thing, 160, 150, he would touch all that, but he would often lack control. And today, not taking anything away from Mayank Yadav, please, it's not as if we are going to put him down or anything. But some of the shots that happened, it came about because of pressure, run rate pressure also. Bairstow, you look at Jitesh, that extra springboard bounce ensured he couldn't get any kind of elevation.
Same with Prabh
Simran. But look at the shots, trying to slog across the line, and that's why that pressure ensured that they threw the wickets away.
And see, that's why you also have to be a little slow or take your time, because again, if a bowler is going through a bad patch, those same shots can take a kiss of the top edge and go flying to the boundary.
For example,
that KL Rahul or Nicholas Pooran, whosoever is going to be the captain going forward now, LSG, let's say at large, will have to be prepared. SR, see, that's the thing with bowlers who bowl fast. If you have, let's say, a short man, a short third man, a short fine leg, you will have to be prepared for those edges to go, and there will be a lot of, and he'll have to have a big heart. With fast bowling, you need to know you've got to have a big heart, smaller grounds, let's say the Wankhede, the Chinnaswamy.
Smaller grounds, batter friendly tracks.
Will act as nightmares for you. You will have to just suck it up. You will have to, you really cannot do much because edges will fly off to the boundary. You can't do much.
I will tell you, his two major tests whenever LSG are going, one is against RCB, because the Chinnaswamy, as we know, you saw Alzari Joseph, a bowler who bowls consistently in excess of 145 kmph. Look how he is finding it at the Chinnaswamy. It's a nightmare for him. Mumbai Indians, Wankhede, that pitch is so flat, it's like a road. Is there any coincidence that 200 was chased 3 times at the venue last time around? There he will have to find out other ways to ensure he has a similar kind of a repetition.
Now today, what did we see? Yes, we are still all of us in awe of the pace that we saw from him. Going forward, I would want to see more variations, because did we see a slow one from him today? No. Did we see very good bouncers from him today? No. We need to check. We need to wait and see how good is
short ball around the leg stump side, and that is also a weakness that Shikhar Dhawan had. It was exploited by the likes of Mitchell Johnson, Ryan Harris, if you look at it. So that is why, sure, he did bowl around that, he did go outside off stump, he did have that, but all came from that hard lengths that were there. Full, it was there, either it went to the boundary or okay, it was stopped by the fielder in the deep. Okay, so this ground I think has got bigger dimensions, if I am not mistaken.
compared to
Chepauk,
on an average, yes, agreed.
Okay. Compared to even
than let's say those 55 more medium boundaries that
even
we saw.
Eden will test him, because the third man and fine leg are quite small, but the straights are longer.
Longer.
That's the thing. So in every condition. Sure, he's gotten a great start at home comforts in Lucknow. But how will he adapt at Wankhede? How will he adapt at the Chinnaswamy? How will he adapt at Dharamshala, Eden, Chepauk? These are the venues that will test his mettle.
And also you have to remember, he has the other advantage which people tend to get when you're new, the novelty factor.
Yes.
How much would people have done video scouting or anything of the sort of him? There's just not enough footage. As he keeps playing in the IPL, you are bound to get found out. Again, Umran Malik had no lack of control in 2022, and that's where sometimes being a pace bowler is a confidence thing. It's not like Umran lost the control, he lost his confidence.
Yeah.
He lost his confidence, which is why he lost the control.
And also with Umran Malik, if you remember, the wickets that he got, most of them were Indians.
Yeah.
Understand that one particular aspect also.
Ridhavan Saha, Shreyas Iyer.
Shreyas Iyer. But yes, Shreyas Iyer, I mean, the technique that he displayed was also very, very...
I mean, Shreyas Iyer...
gave his wicket on a
listen,
platter.
Shreyas made, and I'm saying this as a KKR fan, but that year Shreyas made him look like peak, Courtney Walsh or whatever.
Yeah,
he totally made him look like the best bowler on the planet.
Yeah.
And there's not been a better wicket from Umran Malik that we've seen till date, I would say.
Not before and not since.
Exactly.
And correct me.
That was like a brilliant setup.
And correct me if I am wrong.
He's not even come close to a setup since then.
No.
And correct me if I am wrong. Would the likes of Prabsimran or Jitesh, looking at the domestic setup, do you think they would have faced bowlers in excess of 150 or 150?
Not that often, at least not in SMAT and stuff like that. And again, don't forget, Jitesh and all are more white ball players. So, would they have? I doubt. And again, taking nothing away from Jitesh, because I think he plays one of the most unforgiving roles, was now come and today sent up to perform a totally different role.
Yeah.
Being a number 4 batter and being a number 6-7 batter are two very different things.
Yeah.
Not everyone's a Sir Jadeja that they can master both. My point is, it's not an easy thing to do. And I don't think they would have faced much of him at all.
Exactly. So that is what the main problem with Umran Malik was, that he got most of the wickets as Indian batters. That was his majority of his 22 wickets, if I'm not mistaken.
You remember how...
23 again, he played some games after which he was shown the bench.
You remember... No, 22 he still played some games.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, 23.
Oh yeah, 23 second half of the season he was gone. And also remember, Umran in his debut T20 against Ireland looked like a deer in headlights.
Yeah, I remember.
4 overs of 46.
He almost lost
40 odd
India
runs.
that game bowling in the
Yes.
last over.
Yeah. And also in the ODIs against
England
New
also.
Zealand also.
Even England, I think he played some in England, didn't look very good. So
That's
again,
the problem,
playing in IPL, different.
Is he the man of the match though?
He is the man of the
He
match.
is the man of the match.
Right,
No, so
absolutely.
Rightly
See, again,
so.
taking nothing away from the performance he's had, I'm just saying, please wait before you go gaga and anoint him as the savior of Indian pace bowling.
See,
please.
I understand.
It's good. The best thing, as we said, the best thing to have come out of this match is the emergence of a young Indian, untested, raw, beautiful looking pacer in Mayank Yadav.
Of course. I mean, Mayank Yadav really, now, first game debut, he's done supremely well. But now the real challenge begins. As they say, no,
should embrace it.
Like for example, I have heard often, like if you make it to Formula 1, it is not the end journey, it is just the beginning.
Oh, that is because again, see what happens in the junior level Formula is that the types of cars you have are very different.
Yeah.
So being able to handle a Formula 1 car which is very automated, computerized, is a challenge.
Yep.
You don't realize just how much speed you can generate. So I remember in Saudi Arabia when Ollie Behrman stepped in for Carlos Sainz, the first thing he said was, "I can't believe the speed of these cars." Because he's driving F2. He stepped in and he's like, "I can't believe the speed of these cars." So that's the thing. That's what a lot of players don't realize, that international level is ruthless.
Ruthless.
It is breakneck. But again, I'm very happy if there's one thing that the IPL is giving, is that you're getting a lot of Indian pacers out of it. If you look at just the young pacers you have right now, it's frightening just what kind of a coterie you could assemble.
But it's interesting because, Shiva and I were talking about it earlier. Yes, on the outside it does look like you've got, good spread around.
You need to groom them.
But let's talk about the tournament at hand after the T20, after the IPL gets over, the T20 World Cup. Now, if you're talking about 4 pacers, let's say that India had to take, 2 in the 11 and 2, let's say if you're taking 3 in the 11 as 1 as backup, can we name those 4 pacers right now?
Bumrah, Siraj.
And there's no Shami, there's no Prasid.
That's the thing.
See, you're struggling.
You're actually looking for a third pacer.
You're looking for a third pacer. Is Arshdeep
Arshdeep.
the answer? But Arshdeep, in the current form that he is, are we sure of Arshdeep also right
Unfortunately, I think you'd have to take him easy on next
Maybe an Avesh. The return of Avesh.
See.
There is actually an opening.
So while it's good on the outside,
No, it's good on the outside because you have options. But the point is, it might be too soon now.
Yes.
Especially when you consider that actually, if you think about it, that fourth pacer option is very open.
yes.
Even if you go with Arshdeep as your
Prasid,
third.
otherwise this whole
Was your
1 year
fourth pacer.
after that he recovered and all, he was traveling with the team. He played as well in South Africa.
Then see, you had Prasid. You won't even be having this conversation if Shami was fit.
Yeah.
But Shami is not available. We know he's not playing the World Cup.
It's, I think, see, you are going to see the return of Avesh, Arshdeep, all
See, Arshdeep is your third choice. He is. He's your third pacer.
I'm just saying Avesh looks like, a pretty option right now because he had a good game against Delhi the other day. But otherwise, if Avesh is to have the kind of season that he did last year,
Then you're certainly
then
not
what are you
looking at him as a
doing?
viable option.
Then what are you doing?
Then your third pacer or your fourth pacer is a Hardik Pandya. Simple.
No. Hardik is your fifth
Hardik
pacer.
anyway will have to be one of the three pacers I'm saying that you can afford to perhaps play, because if you want to play Rinku also in the side, then Hardik will have to be your third pacer.
Yeah, he has to be. Yeah. Either which way. But my point is, you're not going with three pacers with Hardik as your third. You know why? Because that would mean Hardik bowls all 4 overs.
Yes.
So that's not
that
happening.
also means that Hardik may not be there for the entire tournament then.
If he bowls 4 overs every match,
game.
sure.
And this is a long tournament. You're not just doing group stages, you're doing
a Super
groups,
6,
you're doing Super 6,
semis, then the final.
I hate that format.
No, I love it. You know why? I'll tell you why. Because what it does, and this is why I'm glad this World Cup is that you're actually trying to grow the game. I'm sorry, but if you have a closed World Cup for a few, you aren't growing the game.
Which has been there in this decade, if you have to look at it. 15
Yeah, I mean,
and 19, and also
But
2023.
15 was still pretty big. Yeah? You had a quarter final and everything.
Yeah, but then see, it wasn't the Super 6 like kind of a thing. No, you had
Yeah.
only Ireland and Zimbabwe in that.
Qualify.
That's it.
Yeah. Otherwise, 19 you
UAE
reverted.
also. You had UAE in that other.
Otherwise, see, 19 you reverted to the 10-team tournament.
23 also.
Same with 23. 27, I think you're going to have to change that.
Super 6 because you got 3 hosts in South Africa, Zimbabwe, and Namibia.
Correct.
So Namibia will be an automatic, and so you'll have to have 14 teams, and that's why 16 teams, 4 groups each, and then you're having the Super 6 stage.
Correct.
From all of that.
So that's the thing. And at least with T20s now you're seeing it grow.
Yeah.
So in that sense, there's that excitement. But of course, the other side of it, longer tournament.
Yep.
Your players will need to maintain fitness. And actually, now that we're mentioning it, you're right. That fourth pacer slot is very open for anyone who can put in a good performance. Let's be frank.
Exactly. So it is a rather problematic situation at this point. And before we take the comments, I just want to say, did Mayank Yadav say anything? I mean, I know he must have
let's
said
quickly
Let's
something
quickly just
very
go through his
little.
What is it that he
comments.
said?
Because he was the man of the match.
He was the
definitely
man
got
of the match.
interviewed.
So I think he would have. He didn't say much. He says, never thought it would have been such a good debut. Well, no one ever thinks it's a good debut. There's always those nerves that is there. Was nervous before the match. Tried to stick to my pace and aim at the stumps. Mostly he was doing that.
See, he was thinking about using slow ones initially. Interesting. So he does have them up his sleeve. But I think he stuck to the quick ones because he realized that the players were unnerved.
But if his slower one is also 140 Ks, then imagine what his fastest one could be.
I mean, Mitchell Johnson once bowled a slow delivery with a cutter at 82 miles per hour. Imagine. That was a slow delivery because you could clearly see it changed his action. He rolled his fingers over it, and it was Matt Pryor who got out.
See, and the case with Johnson also was, why he could read his cutters very easily. He's slingy.
Yeah, he's slingy.
If you're straight arm, you're a little tougher to read, but
Yeah.
he was very slingy.
Yes.
So made it very, very, and for left-handers especially.
Yeah.
So he
Sorry,
made
not
it.
Matt Pryor, Tim Bresnan, Perth, sorry.
Tim Bresnan.
Tim Bresnan got out. Okay.
All right, comments time, Swal,
Yeah,
because we've
so-
discussed this match.
Yep. Manchester Rising from the US is saying, please predict when India wins ICC trophy. WT T20 in 2024, CT25, CWC 27. I'll add even the WTC 2025.
Yeah, but I think CT25 is your best chance.
CD25, again, the best suited format.
Correct.
The answer is simple.
T20
I
World
agree.
Cup, listen, even if you make
For you?
this.
Yeah, CT25.
CD.
T20 World Cup, I'm being honest right now, and please feel free to quote me if I'm wrong in a few months. You're lucky if you make the semi-finals. Genuinely.
Although he's not put it in the list. I
No,
mean,
World T20.
no. I'm saying
The WTC.
WTC on current form, and if all the players come back.
Siddharth, we are playing the final at Lords.
Well, if Australia come there, then yes.
Doesn't matter who comes there. You're anyway starting as underdogs because of your.
And you will
IPL.
again then make an erroneous decision based on 1 hour of cloud cover.
Yeah.
No, there'll be no cloud cover and it'll be a flat deck and you'll play Ashwin.
Yes.
Bas.
You'll do that. Yeah.
Done.
Again, Manchester Rising is asking us: is MSD or Ponting the greatest white ball captain ever? Oh.
MSD. Listen, Ponting had a great team. Not taking anything away from him as a captain, but he had an all-time great team, chock-a-block full of superstars. You could put a trained monkey and he
I'm
would.
not too sure if Ricky Ponting could have won the inaugural edition of the T20 World Cup with the kind of players that Mahendra Singh Dhoni played with.
I mean, see, Ponting has 4 ICC event trophies. He's won.
But again, with all-time great
he had a
teams.
team. I mean, that
Those
team,
were dream teams. yeah.
See, how can a captain not win if you had Matthew Hayden, Adam Gilchrist opening? You had
Ponting
a Martin, you had a Simons, you had a Lehman, you had a
Martin.
Bickle, you had a Vaughan. I mean, Vaughan didn't play in 2003, but then he did feature predominantly for
Do you
them.
count Damien Martin?
Would you count a Bevan prior years? He was
Bevan,
Bevan was
the
there.
ultimate finisher.
the greatest finisher in ODI cricket.
And then you had a McGrath,
Sorry,
Lee,
Dhoni.
Gillespie,
Don't
Hogg.
Exactly.
And MS Dhoni, let me tell you, he won everything with a team that he built, and you're not expecting them to win. For example, 2007. No, everybody had
That was
given
a
up
team
hope.
of no hopers. Your seniors had sat back here. You thought this was just, an experimental tournament. The experiment turned out to be so good for Indian cricket. It gave you a captain who was now arguably the best captain that you've ever had.
I mean, and if you look at it, Dhoni's won everything that is there in white ball cricket. He's won you the IPL 5 times. He's won you the CL T20 twice.
He won
He's
you
won
the T20
Asia
World Cup,
T20
Asia
World
Cup.
Cup, Champions Trophy, World Cup.
Everything.
He has achieved total white ball cricket.
Correct.
That you would want. Whereas Ponting, he never achieved that. Sure, MS Dhoni as a red ball cricketer and captain, unfortunately, he goes way back. As a red ball cricketer and captain, I'm sorry, he didn't achieve success that
Virat
much.
Kohli for you.
Although India did achieve the #1 ranking in Dhoni's captaincy in 2009. But all undone by the 4-0 losses in England and Australia.
Those twin 4-0s are a blot.
As a red ball captain, and if you look at overall impact, if you look at it, you have to look at Virat Kohli and Saurav Ganguly is right up there.
They'd be right up there. Anyway, more normal questions. Cheering Family says that in the T20 World Cup, your main wicketkeeper will be Sanju, okay? And backup Ishan. Mark my words. Cheering Family, if this happens, no? Interesting.
Yeah.
Even Piyush Nandre, by the way, is saying that Ishan Kishan is the most feasible option for wicketkeeper batsman now. Yeah, give Jitesh a chance, man. Come on.
Or give Rinku Singh gloves and problem.
No. What Rinku
See, I agree. Rinku can,
catch them very well.
catch them very well. At the moment, Rinku Singh so good, he can walk on water right now. But that doesn't mean that he starts wicket keeping.
No,
Can you
please.
say
I
that-
don't confuse Rinku Singh with KL Rahul, okay?
Yeah. I mean, is Rinku Singh probably the most safest outfielder that India has got at this point in
He's
time?
definitely the safest outfielder that KKR have.
Because I've never seen him drop
I trust
catches.
him to be fielding in the deep and not Rohit Sharma.
But can you ever recollect him dropping a catch? I can't.
No, that's the thing. This is the guy I remember when Russell took those 4 wickets in an over. I think 2 or 3 of them were Rinku Singh catches. He is next level safe in the field. He'll dive forward and make it look effortless. He's very, very good in the field. And also one thing that for a small guy, he can cover a lot of ground. He's very swift.
Yeah.
So he can
Like
slide.
Shorty Rhodes.
Yes.
Shivam. very
Piyush
cleverly
Nandre with a very-
highlighted a comment.
With a very naughty comment saying,
Hey.
I will take it. Imagine Shikhar
Useless
Dhawan.
fellow, Piyush Nandre.
Imagine Shikhar Dhawan and Virat Kohli opening in the World Cup, 150 in every match with a strike rate of 140.
Yeah. 20 overs, 154 no loss. Awesome.
Quite possible.
Yeah, but
Priyansh,
useless fellow, Piyush
see,
Nandre.
Priyanshu is saying pick a Harshit Rana. I would,
Ali.
again, very early, same as Mayank. I know he still had a little bit more time because he was impressive second half last year as well.
Yeah.
But please, he's 22 years old. Let's give it a little time.
Give it a little time.
Yeah,
See,
give it
already you have got something.
A little time.
You got Arshdeep and Avesh already there.
But Avesh was barely, actually he did feature in some white ball. Yeah, you're right.
And see, he's been playing domestic cricket also. For Madhya Pradesh, he was there until they got knocked out.
He was, I remember.
Krunal Pandya.
Yeah, by that logic, DK is also there.
DK is there.
DK,
Get
Ashwin.
everybody who does well in the team. Make it a
Yeah.
25-member squad, not a 15-member squad.
I definitely am taking Jitesh. Thankless role he has, yeah. Thankless
See,
role.
now the fight is for the backup spot.
No, it wasn't him, it was Dhawan. If we're blaming Jitesh for this match being lost, then sorry.
It's
a bit
unfair.
bit of misfortune for PBKS, the fact that Livingston got injured.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, had he batted where
At
he
number
should have
4,
batted,
then there's every chance.
And Jitesh was batting out of position also.
Exactly, that's my point. 6 out of 9, you're judging him by. Arey bhai, out of position. That matters. If KL Rahul comes in at number 5 and doesn't do well, I won't criticize him that badly.
But
But
again,
KL,
see,
it's like, see, instead of, let's say, doing our jobs that we do over here, if you're giving a new role altogether, if you're suddenly, let's say, all of us put together are made to write politics, let's say, will we struggle or not? We
Of course
will,
we'll
right? It's a
struggle.
new role for us. We
Correct.
may get the job done, but it's easy to say, no. I'll tell you what happens when you're batting at number 4, you're looking at usually coming around the 12th over, 13th over mark, right?
or sometimes even rebuilding an innings.
Rebuilding an innings. So you're expected to bat in the middle overs at a certain strike rate. Even 150 is good for somebody batting in the middle overs. But if you're batting in the death, you are then expected to smack every ball then. You have to be operating at a strike rate of over 160, 170.
and can I tell you one
That
more
is the
thing?
difference.
I'll tell you one more thing.
But at that moment, the condition was at that time.
I'll again tell you one thing, okay?
Similar.
But
Let's just hold it, okay? This is a very interesting thing, okay? So I can understand the concern that he's got for Jitesh, okay? 3 matches he's not done well, okay?
And to add to that, I'm saying just to add to that for those, because I see some comments as well, people saying that Jitesh don't screw it up, whatever, time running out.
Don't mess it up, don't all those kind of things.
Because as far as his outings with the Indian teams are also concerned, there were times that he hasn't really flourished in the last few games.
But he has the most thankless job in the
job.
world.
All right,
Yes.
so let us look at the whole picture, okay? Jitesh, 3 games, he's failed, okay? Let us be very honest about that first, he's not done well.
He's not
okay?
done well. Fair.
In the Indian cricket team, when he's batting at number 5, suppose he'll be
No,
your
he's
number
more of
6. Number 6.
Plus Hardik
will be
Pandya.
there. Hardik will be your 5.
Hardik will be a 4th.
No, Surya will be 4, no.
No, 4th pacer I'm saying.
See,
Let us plays number 7.
Okay.
If Rinku plays, then he plays number 7 for the Indian team. If Rinku doesn't play, then he plays 6.
Okay, so
that's
6.
to say if he's playing 6, you're playing with 3 pacers plus a Hardik Pandya.
Correct.
Okay, so 6 or 7, okay? 6 or
That's
7.
that's the role.
Yes.
You are not expecting a 50 or a 60 or a 70 when you're batting in that position.
No, quick fire 30-40.
30-40, okay? Jitesh has not done it in 3 games so far. Even in the India team, he was struggling, but he was getting those cameos, right? Actually, if you look at it, cold, hard picture, even your backups, they are not also inspiring you that much.
And
of
also, I'm
confidence.
sorry, the thing is,
But Jurel is competing with Sanju.
exactly, who's already ahead of him in the pecking order.
Sanju and Jurel,
Jurel is a
same
short-term thing, suddenly.
Okay.
Still an opener and we want
But again, in the Indian team, he's been told Sanju Samson can be batting in any position.
Especially, and he was told to train as a finisher.
Yes,
2
okay.
years back though.
But
Well, it doesn't
Jurel,
matter, it's coming into effect
now, if you get Jurel in, it won't be a bad move, okay? You are now fighting for 2 spots. Now, who that 2 spots are? Sanju, Jurel, Jitesh. Okay, 3. I am discounting the others. KL Rahul, outlier. I don't think he's making
Same
it.
with Ishan.
Same with Ishan because of the contract situation. Rishabh Pant, but he's only going through because of that emotional quotient
Yeah, his
factor.
T20I numbers don't merit a
T20
recall.
numbers are not good, and even if he has a good IPL,
No, he'd have to have a fantastic IPL.
say by April end, he needs to be for 350, 400 runs
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Fantastic IPL he needs.
with a strike rate of
And
150.
hope there's a 50-60 run gap between him and the others.
Yes.
Correct.
That is why 6 contenders, you've narrowed it down to 3. With the dark horse being Rishabh Pant.
And I'm sorry, with Jurel, one other small problem is he's not keeping for his franchise.
That's the
It
problem.
matters. Much as you say it won't, if he's used to playing as an outfielder, I know it's T20, so shorter format, but
Maybe adaptability a better option. He can adapt, take wickets and then ensure that he stays there. But see, he will be an aggressive batter, and he was aggressive in the game against Delhi Capitals.
no.
also.
See, as a pure batter, Jurel's a very good option.
Yeah.
Because he's done it well for RR now to second season that he's coming in and giving you those lusty blow cameos lower down the order.
But the problem is Sanju. He's fighting with Sanju Samson.
Correct. And Sanju right now.
he is in wrong franchise right
Exactly. For the T20
But
World
even
Cup,
then-
he needed a different
No,
franchise.
and also I'm sorry.
now. Doubt with his keeping his
No, I'm in doubt for one thing. It will be his international T20I debut. Sorry.
And he'll do well. He did well on test debut.
But test debut, yeah, whole different thing. Bilateral versus a tournament.
See, we are hanging on a prayer at this point in time honestly, we are hanging on a prayer for the wicket-keeper batters.
Correct.
So, in that sense, Love Current tour from the US, a long time here, Love Current, welcome back.
Yeah, welcome back.
My problem is with Prab and Jitesh, they always give their wickets away. Johnny played Yadav really good until he played across. Dhawan got 20 of 20, in last 20 he played.
So he's batting at a strike rate of precisely 100. But see, Love Karan, the thing is that Prabsimran and Jitesh are both aggressive batters. You have to take that.
See, again, I will look at Jitesh's dismissal differently because, see, most times with aggressive batters and batters who are assigned the role that a Jitesh has, see, you've got to be throwing everything but the kitchen sink. And at times you will be made to look like a fool because you're trying for the extravagant, you're trying something extraordinary.
Yeah.
At times it will come off, at times it will not come off.
Let us not read too much into it because there was scoreboard pressure.
Also with Prabsimran, one problem with him at times, and it's not his fault, is that unfortunately he is kind of caught in that catch-22 with Punjab wherein they'll randomly change their batting order. Yeah. What was the problem that Punjab Kings had when they had 3 openers in the playing 11? You had KL Rahul, Mayank Agarwal and Chris Gayle. You had to fit all 3 of them, but one of them's form would inevitably suffer because they're all used to playing at the top of the order. Yeah. Same problem here. Johnny Bairstow's best performance when he was on the verge of being dropped came as an opener. No surprise because he is an opener. But then you've also compromised Prabsimran. You sent him in at number 3. So that is also a problem. No, that's unfortunate, but that's again, it's a problem of Punjab Kings' own making.
You can come out of this, Shivam.
And also the other problem is that, who else do they play? The only other option they have is a Tharva Taide, who, shock horror, is also an opener. All top order. Where's your middle order?
We'll take one final comment from Karuta. Jitesh, 3 matches in IPL, nothing. Out of position meaning Karuta, I'll answer it before I come to the next part. He normally bats at number 6 or 5.
Yeah, that's what out of position means. That's pretty evident.
He's batting at number 4, but even if he's at 6, he's supposed to come 13 to 14 overs, right? Karuta actually
6,
not.
13, 14.
So no, 15, 17, 16, 17 is your bare minimum cutoff.
Not before 16. Yeah. If that's the case, then my top order is not doing anything.
And also again, that last line, I really have to toko you a little bit, Karuta. Please look his stats. Listen, stats at that sort of a position, very irrelevant. See, even a Rinku Singh's numbers.
Strike rate. The only number that matters in the stats is the strike rate.
Absolutely.
Don't look at average. Don't look at anything else.
See, if he gives you a 8 ball 20, okay, hasn't he done his job?
You take that, it's over 200.
Always understand number 6 or number 7 or even number 5. You're not in T20 is going to get a 60, 70 unless the top order has a spectacular collapse and you come in at the 7th or the 8th over.
Correct.
Okay. So, Mayank Madan, and then we'll end with this. Give me one reason. If DK finishes with the best stats and best strike rate, why wouldn't you take him to the World Cup? Leave out his age of...
Because he had a terrible 2022 World Cup. End of story.
We did that experiment in 2022. The boat has sailed. So, that's about it. So, shall we call it a night, gentlemen?
Yes, we have a long day ahead of us tomorrow. Double header weekend, baby.
Yes, it first begins with Gujarat Titans versus Sunrisers Hyderabad at the Narendra Modi Stadium.
Ahmedabad.
Followed by Harshit, it's Delhi Capitals versus the Chennai Super Kings, not at the Arun Jaitley Stadium.
It's the battle of the unequals.
It's happening at Vizag, by the way.
It's happening at Vizag. Let's see.
So, we'll join you for the double header tomorrow. Bye-bye. Take care. Good night from me, Shane and Harshit. And don't forget to subscribe to Sports Today. We are nearing a very important milestone, people.
300K.
Please show us some love and help us get there, hopefully on Super Sunday. Bye-bye.
Good night.
Good night.
What about Nandri?
Nandri, Vanakkam, Shabba Khair, Shubhratri. Don't trouble your mother and
Eat your
eat your
vegetables.
vegetables.